quick tutorial for complete beginners to Landmark. This will just go through everything from getting in game to your first steps. So very first step is you need either to buy a Settlers Pack, or Founders Pack rather, of which there are 3 types at 3 different costs, or get a trial key, which is totally free. So if you know someone who's already playing Landmark, chances are that they may have some free trial keys to give away. If you don't know anyone who's playing Landmark, or if they've given away all their keys, then easy thing to do. I know there are a few sites out there with them. One that I know of is Yogscast. So landmarkthegame.com/Yogscast. We'll bring it up. Do not typo Yogscat as I did, because that does not work, and Yogscat does not exist. So that will take you to a page here where the Yogscast crew have a 7-day trial key. So you can just sign up for one of those. If you get more than one 7-day key from your friends as well as from this, they actually stack. So if you get 2, enter in the 2 separate codes, you get 14 days, etc. And of course, we would hope that if you like the game enough, you would buy it. The main site, just landmarkthegame.com, you will find a Founders Pack link at the top here. There's a Buy Now button. There's 3 price points. The cheapest one is like 20 bucks. And honestly, that's what you'd pay for 2 hours at the movies these days. Hopefully, you'll get a little more than 2 hours of entertainment out of it. So consider it. At any rate, assuming you have a key, or you have bought a Settlers Pack and got a key that way, on the main page of landmarkthegame.com, there's a redeem a code box here. Now, I don't need to redeem a code because I have an account already, but you would type in your code here. You would click redeem a code. And if you're not already signed in to the site, then it will ask you to sign in here. If you do not have a station, well, formerly we called it a station account, now it's a, I guess, Daybreak Games account, then you can just click here. It's totally free to sign up and get a new one. It'll step you through creating a username and password. So I will move this off the screen for a second while I log in. And I'm just using a demo account. Oops. For some reason, it does not want to log me in there. Sorry, I need to log in again. But once you log in, this apply for beta button will change, and it will become a download the client button. So simply click that and you will download the client. You'll also, after you register initially, you'll also get an email with a link. That can sometimes take a little while to arrive, or if your spam filters are playing up, it may get lost. So once you log in on our website here, that button's your surefire way. We also have forums. There's a link up here. And I believe under official news and announcements, there is a sticky post downloading closed beta, which has their system requirements. It also has a link for where you can download the patcher as well. So multiple ways to get that. So assuming you are on the forums, you can find it there. If not, just click that green link on the website, landmarkthegame.com. Now, let's log in. Once you've installed, you'll get a shortcut on your desktop, little blue shield. It will prompt you to log in, which click the green button. And again, I'm going to do this off screen, but just enter your username and password that you created and click the login button. And you will then get the patcher, the play button, click play, and sadly Tom Hiddleston goes away and the game launches. First thing you need to do when you're a brand new user is create a character. Fairly standard. This is a very basic character creation at this point. The game is still in beta, closed beta at that, but obviously standard options, male, female. I think I'll pick a female. We've also got two different sizes. We've got human and large human. The large ones are obviously just a bit bigger and weightier. I quite like the shape of the large humans. And then you can set your face. There's a few options you can go through. Skin tone. And there's every gradient from very dark to practically albino white. Let's go somewhere in the middle. A lot of hairstyles. That one's kind of cool. The usual options. Facial hair on women changes the eyebrows. On men, it may do mustaches and beards as well. And then your hair color. Has a pretty good range of options too. So how about, oh, and eye color. And you can mouse wheel to zoom in as well if you want to see up close. Some kind of unusual eye colors in there. I quite like this one, which is sort of brown and green mixed. Pick whatever you want though. And then character name. A character name is reserved at the moment once someone else has taken it, so you may have to try a few. At this point, someone may have taken your favorite first choice, but let me just choose one that hopefully no one will mind if I take. And create that character. And now you pick a server. Currently, we have 4 worlds, we call them servers. No real difference between them. Most of the EU folks do play on Satisfaction, but you can play on any world and you can change between worlds at any point. So you're not locked to whichever you choose. So there's really no stress at this point on which you choose. You can always change. There is an indicator here of the population. Right now it's quiet, they're all low, so you shouldn't have a huge issue whichever you choose. Pick a name you like. I kind of like Courage, so I'm going to pick Courage and click play. There's a few little tips that will appear on loading screens. If you're brand new, you might find some interesting little tips as you load. All right, so you're going to start out on a fairly random island on the world Courage. Each world has multiple islands, and you're going to start out near a spire that looks like this. If you played EQ1 or EQ2, this may look familiar. It's what the teleport spires look like in those games. Well, kind of similar anyway. Normally right near the spire, you'll see some cool building. We have landmarks that are player-made near each spire just for you to admire. This is kind of a cool one. It's a big multi-layer market. But if we actually go into the spire and we click on the stone, you can see we get a travel menu. Local travel lets you travel down underground to cave layers below. They have monsters in them, so they can be a bit more dangerous. We don't want to go there right now, probably. So we will choose the top one, World Travel, and this just shows you the different islands available on the World of Courage. If you want to change your initial choice from Courage to another world, you can change them here. Note that there is one additional island called the Foundation Museums here, or one additional world, sorry, called the Foundation Museums world that was not visible from Character Create. That is just for display. That is a series of museums of the winners of competitions, so you cannot actually build on that yourself as a player. So we're not going to go to that right now. I think we'll stay on Courage. But if you scroll down here, you can see a list of all the islands that are available on the World of Courage. The images show you roughly what the landscape types are. For example, this one is desert and snow. There's all sorts of combinations. The different biome types are desert, snow, jungle, old-growth forest, volcanic, deciduous, and did I forget one or was that it? I think that's it. So let me pick one. How about Singing Mesa? That's a pretty name. And if you log into our forums as well, drag this over while we're loading, go into the, here's the top of the forums, go into the official news and announcements forum, and there's a sticky post. Oops, actually, my bad. Let me go back, go into the update notes and developer discussion forum. And there's a sticky post, very first one at the top, landmark islands list. There's actually a list of all of the islands here, as well as a screenshot of what the map looks like. So if you particularly want some particular biome or some type of land shape, like these little islands, then you can always browse through this post as well. Quicker way of getting an overview than traveling to each one of them, but you can see they're fairly different. And at the top of each is the name. Ancient Crag is the name of the island you would see on the teleport spire list, and the two biome types, desert and old growth forest. And that is in the update notes and developer discussion forum on the landmark forums. All right, so here we are. We're a brand new character in the land of landmark. We found an island that looks cool. So I'm going to click on the map. I can also use that, I can also toggle that, pardon me, with the M hotkey. And if you want to know those hotkey toggles, click on the menu here and you'll see them here as well. Map M. Mouse wheel will scroll out. The flags that you see around the map are areas other people have claimed for their home. So you can't claim too close to something someone else has already claimed. There's a tick box at the top of the map here. Show claimable land. If I tick that, then we'll see in red areas that you cannot build in. Anything not red is totally free game, so you can go and find a place that suits you. If you use your right mouse button and move your mouse around, you can actually tilt to get a better idea of the sort of height of the world. And I can see actually over here, looks like maybe a nice little coastal area. This is the hub where I am at now, and this little V shape is me, and I'm facing in that direction right now, so I'm gonna hit M again to toggle out of the map and just run straight ahead in that direction. And you can see I've got a compass here that'll tell me which way I'm facing as well. Now this is clearly somebody's claim. I can see a big box around it right now, and that delineates the boundaries of his claim. I can actually turn that off if I prefer to just enjoy the view in my game settings. I hit escape to bring up that menu, or I can also access it through the main menu here under options. Under the general section, I want to turn off the view stranger and friendly claims. I probably do, however, want to view my claims, although I don't have any yet. I will. So that looks a little prettier. Up to you whether you want to turn that setting on or off. You may want to turn it back and forth now and then. It's a pretty cool house this guy has built. Let's just go nosing around and snoop. Wow. Very nice. Up at the top of the screen, there's a little pull down that will say the name of the house and the owner. Core score. Hummingbird mod. I guess this is a modification of a hummingbird house, which looks like it was by Lady Astrum originally. But this is very nice looking. Nice piano. All right. Anyway, continuing our trek. Now, if I don't want to just keep holding down my run key, and the run keys, the movement keys are fairly standard for an MMO, that's WASD. So if I don't want to keep holding down W to keep running forward, I can actually hit numlock. That will auto run. So no hands. Hitting space will let me jump. Hitting space and the shift key actually makes me do a cool barrel roll, just for fun. And by the way, if I'm standing still, I can do that too. Space, shift key, flip. But if I hold down shift key and then hit space, I flip backwards. Just in case you're ever bored. As I'm running, you'll notice that I see resources like trees and plants in the area. Some of the plants have a little sparkle around them, like this one. I can use my scythe to harvest any plant that's sparkling. Let me zoom out to third person with my mouse wheel. So you see, when I have the scythe equipped, which I did just by clicking that on the hotbar, I get this little cone. When the cone is over the plant, it gets a little highlight around it. If I click, I harvest it and I gather in whatever it was I just harvested. I have a loot tab that will tell me that was a plum thistle. Plants like this, which don't have a sparkle, are not harvestable. And big trees like this, I will need to use my axe to harvest, which I do just by equipping the axe and then clicking on the tree. And that should toggle the chopping on. I only need to click once. I don't need to keep clicking or to hold it down. You can see the tree has a health bar at the top, and that will keep decreasing until either I click again and run away and give up, or until the tree is fully cut down. And as I cut, you can see I'm getting little bits of wood. If I look on the loot tab, you can see they're going into my inventory, and I'm getting striped wood. I get a couple different types of wood depending on what biome I'm in. For example, in the volcanic biome, I would tend to get burled wood. Right now, this is obviously a good place for striped. And there's also plain wood, which is another type. And as you run around different biomes and try chopping down trees, you should get an idea of what comes from where. But you can always check the forums. There's usually lots of guides that you can refer to that other players have written. So let me check the map, see how far I got. I'm aiming for here. So I'm almost there. I'm about halfway. That's the spire where I started. And I've just passed Frizzlily's place. And there's someone else's home here. But I've got quite a steep hill in the way. Now, one of the things that I have in my inventory is a grappling hook. It's not immediately obvious that it's there. If I hit my H key to open my character sheet, or I could do it here through the menu, I can actually see I've got a grappling hook equipped here, as well as my armor and what outfit is displaying as appearance gear. So if I run up here, and I'm going to go out into third person view again. If we run out here, it starts to get a little steep and I have a little trouble climbing. I will climb eventually, but it's kind of slow going. If I hit the Q key, I will shoot my grappling hook to wherever my mouse pointer is. Within reason, it does have a range, and this is a beginner grappling hook, so I can't go, across the map. But it can go a reasonable distance, and you see, as I click, or as I hit the Q button, it shoots my grapple up to where my mouse was. And I can actually grapple along flat ground too, but it's most useful, obviously, for climbing up things. So that's a really great feature, which I miss in other games now. Here's another harvestable plant. Different looking one. So since I'm passing, I'll just get that. That was Cordella, apparently. Alrighty, you may also notice that we left the desert and we're now in a deciduous biome. If I chop down these trees, I'm now getting plain wood instead of the striped wood I was getting in the desert. I'm not going to stand here and chop the rest of that tree. Be careful going down steep slopes. You will take some damage. You can see here, as I took that damage, these bars appeared. The outer one is my armor. The inner one, the red one, is my health. And the first damage will be taken off the armor. When the armor is down to 0, it will be taken off the red bar, which is my health. When the red bar goes to 0, then I'm dead. When I'm dead, I can revive at the nearest graveyard or spire. Or if I have a token, I think they're called Ether Shard, forget the name of them, but a particular type of token you can craft, you can revive on the spot. So grappling hook again using Q. And here I am at the top of this. This is what I was aiming for. Yep. And this is a great little, wow, look at this. What a fantastic place to have a house. King of the world. So, as you can see, I've got a little watch list at the side here which shows my achievements journal. I can open the full journal through the side menu here or by hitting the J key. But this watch list will give me a few pointers and help direct me in my first few minutes in Landmark. And it's telling me use the claim flag, which is this one right here, to claim a plot of land. I can click this and it will bring up the full details of the achievement in the journal if I need more instructions. It tells me a little bit more about what to do. And it also tells me what the reward is. So I'm gonna follow the instructions, click on the claim flag. Now this blue square here shows where my claim will be. I'm currently holding down my right mouse button and moving the mouse around just like I did on the map earlier to get a nice view from the side. You'll notice down, I can't move my mouse down here, but down at the bottom left, not sure if I'm pointing the right way, it will say control and mouse wheel together, adjust the claim height. So if I hold down control and I use the mouse wheel, I can change the height of that claim somewhat. It'll default to the level that the land is where I'm standing. And then mouse click, left mouse click, will place it. So I'm gonna raise it up just a little bit. And make sure it's just centered. And then I'm gonna click and confirm. Now the text here says this claim will expire in 17 days at about 11 past 8. So 17 days from right now. If you do not log in within that 17 days, then your claim will be removed. You'll get back any materials that you placed on the claim and a template of whatever you built, but you'll lose your claim to that spot in the world. As long as you log in within that 17 days, then that will be extended again. You'll actually get an extra day added on, and it won't expire from another 17 days from that point of your last login. And that's just so that we don't have a lot of people logging in once only, deciding they're not interested, and just holding that land forever. As long as you're playing reasonably frequently, and once every 17 days is not that often, then you don't have to worry about anything. So hit confirm, and there we go. I've completed that first achievement. And now I've got a new one popped up. I can also see around me the boundaries of my claim. I could turn that also off in my settings if I wanted to, but I'll leave it up for now because it's useful to see exactly where the borders are. So use the template to place a starter home. Templates, again, are under here. It also gives you a little tip there. Use the T key. So this brings up my template window. I've actually got a few extra templates on this because this is an old account, so I should have thought to delete them. If you're a completely new newbie, you will not have most of these. What you will have is just typing it in here. I think I'm hanging for a second. What you will have if you're a completely new character is just these 5. You will have 5 things that are all called starter home. This is just a choice of starter templates just to start you out with a house, give you an idea what can be built, and maybe somewhere to live until you are ready to build your own. So, let's see. There is a brick warehouse, there's a castle tower, a modern home, a dojo, and a slate villa. Well, I think a castle tower is very appropriate for the top of this. So I'm selecting place on that. and I'm going to place it up here. Now there's a few options. You'll notice I've got an up-down arrow, and if I use my mouse wheel, it's moving it up and down. If I, you can see down here there's a few options for movement. If I select rotate, it turns it around. But I'm just going to place it right there. I can always replace it later. These templates are free to place, so I can delete this and redo it if I want to. So that actually put me inside, which is convenient. I can take a quick look around, run up the stairs. This includes some basic crafting stations, and these were also at the main portal hub if you didn't notice, if you ever need them. These are what I'm going to use to make weapons and other types of materials and so on, craft things, outfits, etc. And here I am at the top. Nice view. Oops, someone's got a big tower up there. Okay, so what is my watch list telling me to do now? These look like going out and harvesting achievements. I might just finish the decorating achievement since I'm here in my home right now. So you can decorate tells me place a table prop from the prop palette. The prop palette is this one, the leftmost button here. And if I click it, it opens up my prop palette. I can browse around by clicking the shortcuts at the top. There's different categories that have little folder backgrounds. Click into furniture. There's tables, chairs, bedroom stuff, doors, etc. So table is what it wants me to place. I click in there and I've got a choice of tables. It could also have just typed in table into this search field and it would bring up all the available tables. So pick a table I like, kind of like this round one, right click, and now it's on my cursor, and I just click again to place it. And that updates that step of the achievement. I can now right-click this if I change my mind. I've got options to pick it up again, to duplicate it, which will let me place another, reposition it, or disassemble it, which will get rid of it and return the materials to my inventory. And I'll go down one level, and the next step of this achievement is to click the storage chest prop in your starter home, which is this. So click. And this is just some storage where I can put any additional things that I want. I'm not carrying very much right now, so I probably don't need to put much in it, but if I did, there we go. There is also, if I look in my prop palette, type in chest, there are also some chests here that I can make when I have the materials for them. Right now, see there's a red 0, I don't have enough materials. If I click on one, it'll tell me at the bottom what it requires. It requires 400 cut burled wood. I don't have that much right now. When I do, go out and chop some trees if I can find the ones that give me burled wood. I can place that and then I'll have more storage again. So okay. Other things, let's see. Let's take a look at our forge. On the forge, I can find some basic adventuring gear. The adventurer stuff is what I'm actually starting out with, but if for some reason I had deleted them, I can recreate them now. And the little infinity sign beside the recipe means it's free to make. It doesn't cost anything. This is also where I will make cut stone and smelted metal and cut gemstones, and those are ingredients for crafting recipes. For example, if I want to make weapons, I don't use the raw metal, I use actually smelted metal. And if I scroll down, we will see some of the other things I can make, like axes, sickles. I have an axe and a sickle, which we used earlier, but I can make better ones. Mine is kind of slow right now. So I can make loggers, woodcutters, tree splitters as I earn the material. These also have options of change mods. So when I make a tree splitter's axe, it will give me somewhat random stats on it. If I don't like the stat mods on it, then I can use this change mod option to recreate that axe with a new set of random stats. So if I want one that's really fast, for example, I could keep remaking it until I got one that was really fast. Or if I wanted one that had the most amount of damage, then I could keep doing that. Or if I don't care, then I can ignore that. So you can see if I click on one, here's the logger's axe. It tells me what I need. I need 900 smelted copper and I need 600 cut agate. And I would make those smelted copper and cut gemstone here, cut agate. I would make those here at the forge as well when I had harvested some raw copper and raw agate. And besides the mining tools and axes and so on, there's a bunch of other stuff, improved grappling hooks, weapons, armor, etc. You probably want to look through these, better crafting stations as well that make more stuff. You probably want to look through these, but that gives you the basics. And then the workshop here is used for some other materials, making some non-combat outfits that are just for show, for example, making woven textiles and infused extracts and so on that are used for placing props, things like that. So let me head out my front door here and we'll take a quick look at harvesting, and then I think we are pretty much done. I don't want to run this too long, but run down my wonderful mountain here. First thing I see is some copper. So to harvest metals in the ground, I need a pick. The pick is already on my hotbar. And I get a little targeting reticule. When it's blue, I'm close enough. Red is too far away. And I'm just holding the mouse button down. And as you can see, I'm digging away and I'm getting copper, as well as some dirt and sand. And I can dig right down until I reach the end of the copper. Or if I don't want to go too deep, I can just leave the copper and hop out of here. And this is a place where the grappling hook is super useful. Hit that Q key and then jump to get out. And I have just updated that harvesting achievement there. And now it's telling me to look for agate. Now agate, I happen to know, is also orange. And here it is, slightly paler, more yellow-orange. So here we go. And I have completed that achievement. At the top of my watch list, you'll notice there's actually a count of materials here. If I am currently following an achievement that requires me to craft a recipe to make something, then the total of what's needed will show up here at the top in this little recipe counter. So that's just a handy way of knowing how much you need to go out and harvest to make whatever you've got on your watch list. And in this case, I want to get some agate. Actually, I'm a little confused by why that's showing twice. Oh, this one is cut agate, which I need to craft at the forge. This one is the harvested agate, which I have already. So let me go back to my tower. Now the quick way to get back to my tower is actually to use this stone of recall, which is in my inventory. Or I can just click it, and it brings up a menu that looks similar to what I saw at the portal. It gives me the option of going to the portal spire or to my claim, which I'll go to, and it'll teleport me straight there. It will actually teleport you to a randomized spot just outside the boundary of your home. So in I go, up the stairs, and craft that cut agate. And there we go. And now the next step is telling me to craft a lightstone, which I believe is under utility. I could also just type it in here and it will find it. There's a normal lightstone and a greater one. The normal lightstone, which is what this achievement was asking for, is a consumable. The greater one lasts forever. If I open my inventory, which is the I key or through my menu, here's the lightstones. If I right-click that, it consumes one, and if it were night, I would now have a light around me. So it's just handy when you're exploring a cave or somewhere dark. It doesn't make much difference in the daytime, which it is right now. You'll also notice that when I finished my first building house decorating achievement, I got rewarded this add tool, which I can now see in my inventory. My next achievement on my watch list that popped up, you can build, tells me to equip that. So to equip it, I can just right-click this, or I can drag it to my hotbar. But this hotbar is getting a little full. I can add more hotbars just by clicking the up and down arrows here. So I'm going to switch to hotbar 2 and drag it down. And then click that 2, or hit the 2 button to equip it. You can see my cursor is now changed. I'm now using the add tool. Mouse key scrolls the brush size up and down, and clicking will place voxels of the material that is selected right here. This is right beside where I clicked on the prop palette. It's the second square from the left, and I can choose any sort of material, but the ones here in the common category are free. You can place them in unlimited amounts, so that's obviously the cheapest thing to build with when you're brand new. Scrolling down, I can see there's lots of different textures, so I'll pick maybe these sandstone pavers. Let's change the icon down there, place that. There we go. If I don't like that, I can hit undo, and I can hit escape to cancel out of that tool. And that completed that achievement and rewarded me another tool, which is a delete tool, which I can also equip, and so on. Stepping through these achievements will give you all of the building tools, and then you are ready to build anything you want. And completing the adventuring achievements will lead you through creating an advanced grappling hook, a pulverizer, more armor, and will step you through traveling down to the caves and so on. So follow those along. You should hopefully not get too lost. And then when you want to start building really fancy things, there's lots more tutorials that many people have made, which you can look up for more information. So hopefully that covered the basics. There's one last thing I want to remind you, which is that my claim header is kind of boring right now, as we saw when I teleported to it. You can go into the claim management window or hit the U key, and this is where you can take screenshots. This little camera icon here. And when I clicked that, it added a new screenshot here. I can choose which one I want to make the main one. I'm using the mouse wheel here to zoom in and out to get a better view. And I can delete ones if I don't want. The first time you open this window, if you're on the claim, it will just take a default screenshot, which may not always be particularly well posed. I can take up to 4 screenshots for the claim. I can also name it whatever I want. My awesome castle. I can add a description if I want. And if I add a claim tag, that is something that people can search for, then other people can find it in the gallery. I'm just going to call it castle. Save. The gallery is right here. The little marketplace icon brings up the showcase, which includes the marketplace where you can buy things, the gallery and competitions if we're having a building competition. The gallery contains everybody else's homes if they've added a tag that's searchable. If I search for castle, mine should come up. Castle is a pretty common term, so there's quite a few castles. I can also search for my own name. Once I've tagged it, that makes it searchable too. And if I want to visit someone else's, I just bring up the window with the details, and there's a visit claim button. Click it, and I will travel to it. Great way to look around and get ideas for building. People have built some amazing things. I can also just look through the screenshots, and this is also available on the Landmark game site as well, by the way. You can just browse through the gallery to get ideas when you're at work, if you're not playing, whatever. If you don't have access to the full game, you can browse through the gallery through the website. Alrighty, so that is the basics. Welcome to Landmark. If you're brand new, I hope that helped. And please do check out other tutorials. You can join the general chat channel as well, /join general. We'll add a little tab here called general, which is where a lot of people just generally chat. It's a great place to ask questions and so on. You can also ask questions on the forums. A lot of people are active on Twitter. So yeah, check it out. Hope you enjoy it and give us your feedback on the forums. Alrighty, so that was a little long for an intro tutorial, but hopefully that covered pretty much everything a newbie would need to know. Sorry to see I missed Omid popping in. He was gone before I said hi. I don't have the kind of chatty live stream that he does. At least not when I'm recording stuff for YouTube. So next week I'm not going to be streaming because I'm going to be moving house, and probably my computer will be in a box, and even if it's not, I probably won't have my internet hooked up yet. So hopefully, if all goes well, I'll be back the week after next. Maybe I'll randomly stream at some other time, but probably not because I'm going to be busy putting things in boxes and unpacking and so on. So if you have any suggestions of what to stream, let me know for when I get back. Also, I am still basically recording tutorials for YouTube, so I'm